Welcome back to Pop Culture Roll Call, the show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their characters present for. This is Season 5, Episode 3, The Mountain of Ghosts.
Welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. I'm host Mike. I watch everything from the point of view of Penny. To the left of me as always.
It's Sasha, and I watch everything from the point of view of Margot.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin. I watch everything from the point of view of Elliot, as always.
Right here, right now.
Hey, it's Brian. I'm here as Josh.
And creeping in the background often.
Producer James.
Hey.
Hey, we had a weekend live stream.
We did.
We did.
nice.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And
Try to get the archive up the next day or two.
yeah, we watched a divisive episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Got
and
cringy
awkward. Yeah.
AF.
We
Yeah.
love cringy AF stuff.
Got also kind of illegal.
It was definitely, it gave us a lot to talk about. I will
Yeah.
say that. It was definitely something to talk
We
about.
watched season 7, episode 6 of Buffy.
Him.
And him is gross.
Him is
Yeah.
gross? Is
Yeah.
him gross?
Well, not him is not gross. Him's jacket gross.
Yeah.
And consequences
He
of
needs
said
to
jacket
wash it.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Dawn episode, so that was new to us.
We haven't done much Dawn content in a long time.
Content.
Dawn
Yep.
content.
By a
And it's
second.
weird that the people who are voting for the episodes that we should watch in our monthly wrap-ups don't usually have us watch a lot of Dawn content. It's almost like she's not a beloved member of the community.
Wow.
It's crazy. We got a bunch
telling
of
on
Xander
yourself.
episodes. It's like Xander and Dawn are like pretty like down, and then like the Willow stuff and the Buffy stuff and the Angel stuff and the Spike stuff and the Giles stuff is
Xander
all like S tier stuff.
was a hero in that episode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
Is it because you needed Spike's help to actually solve the problem?
We both did it. It was my plan.
Yeah, you drove. It mattered, right?
Well, in any case,
Thank
you for joining us.
Thank you for joining
It was
us
very
and
fun.
jump in and check that. I didn't even consider. I meant to talk about this before we actually started, but I was gonna see if we wanted to do anything about whenever we have people join the Patreon and join the Discord. If we want to shout them out at the top of the episode, is that weird?
No, I think that's
Yeah.
okay.
Is that
I feel
nice?
bad that we haven't been doing this already.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
cancel your subscription and rejoin.
and then rejoin.
Yeah.
Don't
Should we also read their socials, like their social security numbers?
Well, I also don't know if they want their name. Maybe we should, because I don't know if they want their name. I'm gonna do it because we had a Discord person jump in last week, and I just wanted to say thank you to the people who join us. I feel like we say thank you a
Yeah.
lot, but
How about we just say, you know who you are, and then we will just test the waters in Discord, and maybe we'll start rotating people who have been subscribers for a long
maybe
time.
like throw out some of some of our
like
favorites.
a little thank you at the top.
Yeah, we'll
Let's do
post
that.
about it, and then also if you're listening to this and you're like,
Please, God,
we
no.
don't like that. Like
we don't like that.
we don't like that idea.
I'm actively canceling myself.
Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking the other day when we were doing our live stream and doing like book club. I was like, I'm really appreciative of our little community, and like, we don't have like a huge following, and I like whenever people like jump in and decide to support us. So, like, it feels like nice to give them shout outs. But if people are like, no, that sucks, then I don't want to do that. But you know who you are, and thank you.
I also would love the
jumping
moment
in.
of like you're doing a heartfelt shout out, and then you're like, big thank to user, and it's the most aggressively, like just vulgar name.
People's names are good in our Discord.
Yes.
We don't have any bad names. If anything, a lot of them are pretty great.
Yeah.
Some of I listen to a Formula One podcast, and they do shout outs like sponsor. They call them sponsors, like on the cars, and one of them is just cigarettes, which is very funny, like given the context. And I feel like those are hilarious to listen to be read.
Big thank you to Big Sigs.
Anyway. Okay, so
let's jump into the actual episode, because I think we got a
have a
chewy
lot.
one. Thank you
credits.
to all of you for doing things and being here.
Credits.
I
start
credits.
before credits.
Yeah, we've seen.
Same. Do we start at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, in the house for
fantastic.
cheersing. Well, I mean, I start slightly before you, and then you come out of the mirror, but basically it's exactly that.
Yeah. This is a celebration. Fen and Josh and Elliot are saying yay to High Queen Margot for saving us. And I need to talk about this because I have never been so wrong, I think, reading a character this entire time. What we learn before the credits is that the whole thing, everything I talked about last episode where I was like, Margot's hiding this plan from Elliot. That's kind of weird, whatever. No, she didn't write that. She didn't write the plan at all. Elliot did, and he mailed the letter to save them, to visit the dwarf.
Oh, sure.
This apparently was Elliot's idea, and he overrode everything I said. and he sent the letter.
Sure, that's exactly what happened.
What?
Okay.
Right? We'll talk about it.
Okay. Because that was very confusing to me.
I don't know. I would agree. There's a little bit of a confusion here, and I think I don't know exactly what happened, and I was kind of hoping that you had more information on your side of it.
No.
So basically, we wrote 3 letters last week.
Yeah.
Letter 1, we know it failed because the history books were like, oh shit, it fucked.
Yeah.
And then Elliot's like, I wrote a letter, and I'm not going to tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that letter. And then you wrote a letter that we sent, and all we know is that either letter 1 or letter 2 solved the problem. Either Elliot's letter or Margot's letter solved the problem.
Letter 2 or 3.
2 or 3, yes. Either letter 2 or 3 solved the problem, we think. I was kind of hoping we would talk to Josh and Fenn about like how they knew and like what happened. So you don't get anything like that?
No, so one of the we know from last episode is that the letter was, they said it at last episode, which was that the letter told them to go visit the guy at the center of the world with the clocks and bring him a ham sandwich. That's what the letter said.
Right. And you didn't write that letter.
Apparently not.
Interesting.
Apparently you did. Because that's the argument here is that like you're like, because Margot pulls Elliot aside and was like, why are they cheering for me? Why are we letting them celebrate me and bake me cookies and whatever when it was you that did it? And Elliot is like, listen, they're happy. It's a simple story.
Right.
Let's just move on.
Okay. I'm curious if the read is supposed to be that I took your letter and rewrote it or wrote over the top of it.
Yes, I think so.
Or so I did not we'll talk about my letter that I wrote. I did not send that letter. That letter is a core part of this episode.
Okay.
I never sent the letter.
Okay.
So Margot sent 2 letters. One of them we know failed.
Yeah.
The other one we're assuming wasn't what saved.
No, I think I think the one.
So maybe I just went and like rewrote it, or I read it and I edited it.
I definitely think you edited it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
And I also really. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time because I know you have a long episode.
Yeah.
I really disliked this. And not just because like I'm
the
just
episode
like the episode, the way they took this character, the end result here. I think it's like very confusing. Like it doesn't make sense given what we saw in the previous episode. It's like not consistent. It's like basically last episode when Margot and Elliot are fighting, Elliot is the despondent one who's giving up and she's trying everything. And the last letter she sends, which is just like a goodbye letter, which she says with the book, the history book, is not because she doesn't want to save them or that she's giving up on them or whatever. It's because she's out of ideas. Elliot's out of ideas. And it's like, there's nothing to do.
Right.
Like she has made, like she's given up because like she has no more ideas. That is not how they frame it in this episode. And like, it frames it like Elliot is the one that pulled her out of the mud. When I'm like, the entire episode last week was the opposite way around. And I like still don't feel at the end of this episode that anything that happens, which we'll get to, is deserved really. And anything that happens is like really fair at all. Like it doesn't, like it almost seems like they changed their mind between the 2 episodes on how they wanted to approach this. That's how it feels to me.
My thought was, and I don't have and I was kind of hoping that your episode would elucidate on this fact. I don't know if I used that right. Anyway,
You did.
Great. I thought that maybe Elliot was lying, and I was just taking credit and trying to give you and like not to be malicious, but just being like, I thought maybe Elliot didn't know like who was celebrating what, but I was like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like I don't want to have that conversation. It was awkward. It was weird. I wasn't a good person about it. Like I don't want to hurt our relationship, so I'm willing to like. Margot says, hey, thank you. And it's like, you know, it's whatever. You take the credit. And I just like kind of leave the situation.
Yeah. I mean, you do point out that it's like, you just followed the advice of your advisor or whatever. Like, yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But no, like, honestly, it
Maybe
is
I actually
core
did.
That it wasn't Margot's idea to send that letter at the end of this episode. Like, we'll get to it. It's like literally the end, which I'm not just jumping into it right now.
I just don't know if it was actually Elliot's. I'm curious if there was if the letter was intercepted or edited or something. As somebody else.
Don't you explicitly say
that
it
would
was
make it
Elliot?
better.
Yeah, and he kind of takes credit for it. He's like, you just listen to your advisor. Like, he's like, that's a simple story. Let's just go with it. But that does leave it up to interpretation, because you could also be lying to Margot in the same.
That's just too many kind of layers on.
What the problem is that I'm having a really hard time with these last 2 episodes and making them make sense in character development, which is why we're kind of reaching.
Agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
Which that was my point as well. Is like the fact that we watch as these 2 characters that did these things specifically, and we're trying to make logical hoops to try and see if it isn't as weird as it seems. Maybe it is just the first 2 episodes of the season and they wanted to get the characters from X to Y, and they just like
skip some stuff.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, she's out of jail now, and people are back, and okay, now we can finally do the story that we've been like looking forward to write.
Yeah,
maybe, and which is kind of unfortunate if that's the case.
Yeah.
It's weird so far. I feel like this season has been almost like a letdown after the high
of the last
one. That we'll get into it, and maybe it's just that we need like
we're
a
still really
villain
early.
Or something.
Yeah.
But like we're 3 episodes in now, and I'm like, what are we even doing here? Like, we're just
I
kind
know
of
what we're
meandering.
Okay, so
I have a very different episode.
So after like Elliot and Margot have this aside, our conversation gets interrupted
by Alice coming in.
Yeah, you see, and you're like, I have to go.
Yeah, she looks like a goth backpacker or a goth adventurer or whatever. She just she seems really sad. She's got like a bundle on, not a bundle, but like a backpack with like a rolled up like sleeping pad, and she's going towards the mirror. She's going to go to Fillory, and I'm like, whoa, where is she going?
The clock, right?
Yeah, the clock. Sorry.
The clock,
It's the clock from the first episode.
Yes.
Yeah. She's going, and I'm like, stop her. And she's like, oh, I'm going to Fillory. I got to do a thing. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we just got back from Fillory. Obviously, shit's fucked there. Like, don't just walk into the clock without telling anybody.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I did a thing, and this is the result of it. She like holds up a vial, and she's like, I need to go solve it, and I don't need your help. And I was like, you don't just go in to Fillory. Like, that's not the world that we live in now, is you just like come and go from Fillory. Like, we just got out, Dark King's in there, like shit's all bad. And she's kind of refusing to tell me about it. Eventually we kind of come to the realization that, and I don't know how or what happened, but she did some kind of magical spell. She made a golem of Quentin, and she has a vial that contains part of his like soul, basically.
Oh.
So it's like a glass vial, and I don't get the sense that she meant to get it.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I'm sure there's just scenes with Alice that like kind of explain it, but she has a glass vial, and she has a piece of Quentin, and she doesn't want it. She made the golem, I think, kind of like the Margolem kind of deal, where it's like she wanted companionship, she missed Quentin, she wanted like a version of him, and then she realized that that's fucked, and she like she said she buried the golem, or she destroyed the golem, but now she has this essence of Quentin, and she can't just like destroy part of Quentin's soul. The only way to do it is she needs to return it to the underworld, and there's a place in Fillory at the top of a mountain. There's a hole in the top of like the special mountain called the Mountain of Ghosts, which is the name of the episode, that if you throw something in there, it goes down, it goes a hole all the way to the underworld. And if she throws it in there, the idea is that it will be destroyed in the underworld, find its way to Quentin, and Quentin will be whole again in the afterlife. And that's her point. And Elliot's like, okay, great, then I'm coming with you. And she's like, I don't need your help. And he's like, I'm not going to let you just go there by yourself. Like, and she seems a little perturbed by it, but ultimately our kick into credits is her saying fine. And being a little frustrated by that.
Yeah. Credits.
Yeah.
Credit. Mind sluts.
So before I also jump back to Fillory, what are you doing?
So I have 7 minutes. So I got a couple scenes.
Wow, we're really busy today.
Yeah,
Okay.
busy
We
day.
got to churn.
And so my first scene is in a library, going through books, and Julia shows up with some coffees, and she's like, you doing okay? Your head's still hurt from the patch. And I'm like, yep, but it beats the noise. Like it's uncomfortable, but it's better than the noise I would have to deal with. And I've been burning through all these books looking for answers, and everything in this library is for shit. Like, none of these things are helping. And I put a request with the library, but I have a sense they're going to be not that speedy in processing my request.
Yeah.
So Julia isn't like, while you're waiting, and there's like a pause there, and Penny's like, listen, that's a great idea, but I really do have a headache. And she's like, that's not what I'm talking about. I need a ride somewhere. And it's like, Listen, Penny's got a mind.
To be honest, I thought that's what she was talking about too.
Yeah,
You know,
So,
I mean, come on.
While we're waiting,
It's not like you don't have history, right? So we're alone and you don't have anything to do. And,
Just
it's
But,
new season, so
I got a couple. Do you want me to go with another?
you
or-
probably shouldn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
I probably
You should
should.
probably wait a little bit, or you're going to be quiet for a really long time. I got a lot of very important stuff to do this episode.
I got
I'll jump in and
four
start doing
more
some
scenes,
things.
but I'll wait.
My biggest worry is trying to parse all the notes because it's a lot of content and it's a
Yeah.
lot of backstory and it's a lot of stuff. So forgive me if I stumble over myself. So I spend this entire episode in Filorian with Alice. So no one else is there. So it's all me, baby. Alice and Elliot are walking through the woods and we approach this like stone wall and it has these spikes on it. We're talking about the Takers. So apparently this mountain is in the like land of the Takers. So
Okay.
we know that it's dangerous and it's pretty funny, charismatic episode. So we get to the front of this wall and there's a big sign that says like beware Takers, keep out at all costs, basically like don't cross here. And Alice is like, oh man, it's dangerous, Takers. And Elliot like points to a smaller sign that says like Taker adventure tours 500 feet this way with an arrow. And he's like, well, I could do that. And we're like, okay. And we just like high over and we find this guy. We don't know his name right away, but we get to this camp and there is a gruff adventure trekker dude, kind of like you would expect, kind of if he is similar, he has the vibe of like ex-military survival expert
Got it.
camper kind of guy. If you've ever been on an adventure tour, you probably know the kind of dude.
Bear Grylls-esque.
Bear
Yeah.
Grylls-esque, yeah. And so he ultimately seems nice, but he's just kind of doing the like logistic, practical application. He's not getting involved in our drama stuff. He's like, okay, like, you know, we're in very dangerous territory. Like, why are you going up the mountain? And we're like, you know, we're going to the top of the mountain to throw in this vial. And he's like, okay, you're grievers, not adventurers. Like, there's two types of people that come here. One, people that want the thrill, and other people that want to get to the top of the mountain. He's like, just trying to figure out who they are. And he's like,
those are different paths.
they're different paths,
Yeah.
they're different
Yeah.
types of people. And like, he has to
One
work
costs
harder.
$10 more.
Right.
This reminds me of when we went a whitewater rafting. Like, which one are you feeling? Do you want to just like float to the winery, or do you want to do the action?
Yes.
Float to the winery.
But it does seem like it's weird because the grievers are the more dangerous path, I think, because you have to go all the way up the mountain.
Right.
It's not like you just want to go in for a day trip. It's like overnight. Like you've got it's a long
There's a lot of
trek up,
grief
like,
to process.
I think it's like 3 days basically.
Oh, okay.
Or 2 nights, 3 days
Okay.
basically of hiking or something like that. And so he's like, "Oh, don't tell me you're grievers." And he's like, he's like, you know that this is dangerous, like you could die, like you've been crying and eating cake, like you're not adventure lovers, you're not like. And Elliot's like, hey, I can cry, eat cake, and do cardio. And he's like, all right, fill your bag up with rocks and sand. And we're like, what? And he's like, this isn't about packing light. Like every night that we camp, or every time we like set up camp, we have to use these like stones with black sand in between them to make a circle around our camp to try and keep the takers out. Apparently it's like a ward thing. So we like get these big sacks and we just start loading them up with like big chunks of like charcoal and charcoal dust basically. And we're just kind of chit chatting, and I notice, or maybe Margot, or well, I already know that she has the vial, right? She kind of like, when he says they're dangerous up there, they'll take you, they'll find out what's most important to you, they'll take that. So like, keep your eyes out, but don't just be worried about you if you have things, because he knows that people go to the top of this mountain to throw things in the well.
Yeah.
For the forgotten.
Oh,
so he's like,
the Takers will steal this vial.
the Takers will steal it, because most people go onto the mountain with things that are very important to them. That's why they're sending it down the hole. And he's like, keep track of that thing.
So how many scenes until they steal this vial?
Like 4.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
4's not pretty. 4's a good run.
And Elliot, like, kind of, so he leaves and he's like, keep that thing safe. She like grabs her pocket. He doesn't see it. He's like, whatever that is, keep track of it.
Yeah, immediately the thing let's touch exactly where all your important valuables
Yeah, right.
are.
So
like,
everyone knows. And Elliot's like, hey, I like hold. I have like a man purse, basically. I don't know, it's a satchel or fucking whatever.
It's a merce.
It's a merce.
Yeah.
But it's like a zippered, like small. You know what a purse looks like.
Yeah.
But it has a zipper on the top, and
Keep describing it.
it's got a long strap. It's pretty thin. It's kind of attached with a chain clasp.
Is it more of a clutch or a purse?
I think it's a clutch. It's
Okay.
pretty small.
Okay.
And so I'm like, hey, because it's just in her pocket. and we obviously had big bags full of rocks and lots of other camping gear and stuff. And I guess she doesn't have any zippered things. And I was like, this has a zipper on it. It's probably safer than it just jangling around your pocket. Why don't you let me hold on to it? And she seems hesitant, but I'm like, I'm not like, I love Quentin. I don't say I love Quentin too, but I was like, I'm not going to break it or like hurt it. He's like, I want it to get up there too. That's why I'm here. And she's like, fine. And she hands it over, and I unzip my purse and I put it inside and I zip it back up. And we kind of like cut forward to later on that day. But why don't you all do something and I'll talk about that.
Okay. So we are in Fillory.
I'm there too.
Oh, actually, no, not yet. We are unfolding maps in the real world, and I'm talking to Josh and Fen, and we're talking about how we can take Fillory back.
Yes.
Yes,
and
that happens first.
You've been banished from Fillory, even though weren't you there last episode?
Fen banished me. That's how I got put in prison because I had the marks.
Sure.
So, but good news.
It's springtime in Fillory, and Josh and I think Fen together set up like an annual tournament to become like an elite Centurion guard, and the prize of the tournament, not only do you become one of these guards, like your kind of criminal record is wiped away, including banishment.
Right. So I'm like, all right, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Yeah, go
like,
win
right
this
now.
tournament and you can be unbanished.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go right into the next scene because it actually, as they're saying that, it like literally cuts
The audio is like fading into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're just like going to fast forward, and we're talking to a guy named Bick.
Like the lighter, I guess.
Yeah. But that was just funny because the other guy was Tick. So
yeah.
that's why I was like, interesting.
put that
Something
together.
weird going
Yeah.
on with that, but sure. And he is taking registrations.
Yep.
I used my name that I was using when I didn't know who I was,
Yeah,
Janet.
Janet. Was the last name the same, or did you make it?
I don't remember the last name, but I assume it is. And then my weapon of choice is going to be myself, but also axes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Fen is like seeing somebody like, playing like doing knife tricks or whatever, and Fen's like, "Oh, I'm entering too."
Yeah, she gets like super interested in doing it. We're
She just loves knives, I guess.
Yes, she looks. That's her dad.
No, I get that,
yeah.
but like, I don't know. Later, we learn that this tournament is not like necessarily deadly, but like everybody's
could
using
be.
axes and swords and stuff. And Fen's like, "Oh, I want to get in Margot's way in this tournament."
She does say
because I want to do it for fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Her motivation's very kind of like, ooh, shiny knives.
Yeah, very much so. And so she's registering specifically with her Child's Play knives, which she had when she was a kid.
Yeah. And she also uses a fake name that she hastily, it's like Fen and then some more
Nick.
syllables. Yeah.
And then like makes up something else. It's really bad. But as we are like getting ready to do this tournament, I'm realizing that my spells aren't working. Like I'm trying to do like armor on my skin,
Like a skin hardening
like
spell.
a skin hardening spell, and it's not working.
It works on like half of your body.
And my whole body's like really itchy. I feel like bugs are eating me alive.
Whoa,
And
So there are 2 moons in Fillory, and if either one is full, it's werewolf time.
So you got like a 50% chance of. Okay, well,
So I think we're just approaching one of the 2 full moons.
Yeah.
So like,
so werewolves can't do magic then, I guess. Like
I
whenever you're a
guess,
werewolf, you can't also be magic. Mm-hmm. Weird.
or
the
something.
spells work differently
Yes,
on
I
werewolves.
think that's actually
or
probably
whatever
more
it is.
likely,
Fair enough.
actually, which we'll get to in a sec. But yeah, so Fillory, Josh goes to run to check this.
Yep.
And he comes back with the information. And as I am, he's telling me like, hey, this is why you have wolf PMS, just like as a heads up. Like this is going to happen.
But like the tournament is before the full moon, so you'll be like this for the tournament.
Yeah. The problem is though, so I got the skin hardening spell to work on my one half of my
Left
body.
half.
So the left half of my body, not the right. Whatever, the spell, werewolfing, whatever. But the other thing is like I'm very murderous. Like I'm acting a little bit feral, more murderous than usual. That is the joke. And
Which is usually
like,
pretty murderous.
Which is usually.
I like kiss Josh, just randomly, just like grab him and like aggressively make out with him and slap his butt with the axe, like the whole thing.
It's the
like,
only chemistry we've shown in the past 2 episodes, but whatever.
the love of your life.
Yeah. So that this is the prep portion, and we also are introducing the fact that there is a little bit of a timeline here of like there's a point where I'm gonna need to go into a cage.
There's a ticking clock.
There's a werewolf cage, yes, waiting for me. and Josh, actually.
Right.
Both of us.
And it's gonna be horny in there.
It's gonna be a horny, dangerous cage.
Yeah.
So what are you up to?
Speaking of dangerously horny, no. We travel to a building that I'm assuming is in the UK because it's there's a name on it that's PK Endeavors with a U, which is a very UK thing to do.
Could also be Canada, right?
Yes.
Say
Yes. We definitely went to Canada. So we travel to a building and
Australia?
Julia.
Could also be just like the United States.
New
People just do
Zealand?
that all the time. we live next to an Italiano pizzeria right next to our place.
Can you run that one back?
Italiano pizzeria. It's
Thank
right
you.
there.
Thank you.
It's Spaghetti. And I shouldn't have done that. I doxed myself.
You
What are
really
gonna
did.
do? Cut that out? I don't know.
Nope.
That's probably fine. There's multiple. There's not.
And Julia checks a book that she has with her for like how the jacket has like a picture of the author.
Yeah.
And the author's name is Daniela Marcus. And the on the like also written inside the jacket is like the address of the place we're at.
Sure. What does the address look like? I can tell you if it's UK because they have different addressing standards.
Gaylor's Muse.
No, give me the numbers. The zip code. Is it 3 and 3 letters and numbers?
3 Gaylor's Muse.
Okay.
That's not a zip code. Do you know how to zip code?
Why? There was no
People
zip
don't
code.
send letters
There was
anymore.
no zip code. So we're in the UK, and on the sign
street
also
number.
says like by appointment only. And I'm like, did we make an appointment? She's like, what do you think? I'm like, great. We walk in the door, and it looks exactly like the Physical Kids Cottage.
Oh, okay.
Exactly like the Physical Kids
Feels
Cottage.
like a stronger case for Canada.
I don't know why I'm so
Why do you want it to
pissed
be
off
the UK so bad?
about the Canada thing. Like, this is clearly the UK.
Okay.
It's because
It's
we're
gonna
in,
be like Fillory.
The UK affiliary.
Okay.
And Julia goes to like ask someone. People are just hanging. Like, it's just kind of like people having drinks, like a kind of a mixer vibes.
We've been to the physical kids cottage. I know how they hang.
And she goes in or like asks someone, like, excuse me, if it's, and someone named Zoe Marcus interrupts and says that she runs the joint. And Julia's like, oh, my name's Julia. We emailed. So I don't know if she's faking some sort of comms that they had. And I'm just like, excuse me, why does this place look exactly like the Physical Kids Cottage? Like, what's going on here? And she's like, oh, did you go to Break Bills? I'm like, well, actually, I'm a professor at Break Bills. And we do like a little jump to us all sitting down and like having a drink.
It looks like it because we didn't want another set.
Yeah, you don't want to build
This is
another
like the
set.
third time they've done it. In the
Yeah.
mind,
Listen,
like Palace
Yeah,
too.
you gotta stretch that
a
dollar.
little bit more budget.
You got
Just
a
a
little
touch.
bit more.
I need
budget.
one more set.
Like
please.
maybe it's like the Physical Cottage, but the walls are blue. Like just
We got that hallway in the ivory tower. We've got the throne room in the ivory tower. We got the physical kids cottage. We've got outside.
We got the apartment.
Vague apartment.
We've
The
got the
apartment-
apartment, the vague
yeah.
apartment.
I think we blew all of our money on the
We
apartment.
got woods.
That was the new one, actually.
Yeah, it was
legitimately.
the
that was-
wood. Yeah, generic woods.
Generic woods happens a
Yeah,
lot.
we built that from the ground up.
Road in the woods.
Yeah.
Field next to woods.
And so we cut forward, and she's talking about Break Bills and how it was like the best time of her life. And apparently she did a study, and that most magicians cast 23% more accurately when they've been having a drink. And so she's like, God, we're fucked. And she's like, so what can I help you with? Stocks, she said. You were talking about stocks because she's like some financial advisor.
So she's just doing fraud. Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Those are my
I don't think she's doing fraud. I think she's actually just a financial advisor who's also running this place.
with magic.
We'll see.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, about that, we were hoping to talk to your sister, Daniela. And she's like, and why? And she's like, well, to start, you know how magic was like regulated? And she's like, and, you know, no longer is, thank God. And I'm like, well, we stopped that and a lot worse. And like a friend of ours did, and there was like some side effects with that. But like, you know how the Sturges are like, and she's like getting stronger. Yes, we're concerned that we're heading sort of like a major event. And we're
Yeah.
trying to get ahead of that. And we need, and she's like, Daniela. And we're like, exactly. We need her help to help like predict what's going to happen. and we'll pay you whatever we can. Like, we're not looking for like help for nothing. And it's just like, you and your sister will be helping save the world. And she's like, I'd love to help, but I'm not going to. And we're like, pardon? She goes, unfortunately, I have to decline. Stay as long as you like. And she walks off. And we're like, wait. Shit. And Penny's just like, okay, it's fine. We'll figure something out. But Daniela has no interest in helping us.
All right. Curious why.
Hi there. I even have to come in here for a second because
It's the UK, right?
it's just some fun
If it's
tips I
Canada,
have.
I'm walking the fuck out.
It's supposed to be London.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
It is filmed in Vancouver.
So we're both right. But I'm going to say this. There is nothing in that shot that sets the stage for Canada. I'm going based off the building
Except for that
sign,
it
which
was in
is with a
Canada?
U.
Wait, so nothing other than where it was.
No, because you just see the
Indicates-
building. Look at that.
The building
Look at
that's
that
in
building
Canada?
that says Endeavors with a U.
You know what? You know why that says that's in Canada?
Why?
Because it's in Canada.
Listen,
Is why.
I'm not a world traveled knowing what
know-
buildings look like in Canada. I know words. And there's only one country I know of that spells Endeavor with a U.
I
There's
think
not.
I named a bunch actually.
Yeah,
No,
there's not.
no.
It's actually.
I don't think Australia puts the extra U's in.
They don't. I don't know. I know Canada
They do?
does.
I don't
Canada
know.
does.
I've been watching a lot of Guy Montgomery's Guy Mont Spelling Bee, and I don't think they have
Big
extra
pop
U's.
for Guy Montgomery here on the couch.
That's true.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that for a traveler, there's a lot more panache in traveling to the UK than just going up to Canada.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
So now it's a panache thing?
Okay.
Anyway.
We gotta move
yeah,
on.
we do.
It's always been a panache thing.
It's true. A little extra like that. Back in Fillory, can I do a thing?
Yes.
Is that
Alright,
in the UK or London? Or,
yes.
Or Canada?
Yes,
It's
and.
also in Vancouver because tax
It's also-
credits.
yeah, true. So just like I guess there's a lot of TV shows filmed in Canada
Yeah,
because
tax credit.
Orphan Black too. Anyway, so few scenes of us kind of like hiking and climbing and looking exhausted. It's like legitimate rock climbing / like bouldering / also just like hiking up steep hills, and our dude is sort of just trugging along because this is what he does for a living, and Alice and Elliot are getting progressively more exhausted until we kind of have a little like dust up about why who's here and whatever. So we like stop at some point, and we're bickering at each other and just kind of sniping back and forth, and Alice says, let's not bicker, I don't really want to bicker, and Elliot's like, no, I kind of want to like bicker, like, and now I'm like
No,
you
I
know what,
want
this
to
is like
bicker.
being shitty, and like I'm trying to help you and you're being shitty to me, but Elliot's also being shitty to her because I'm in a mood. And the guy's like, okay, and he like kind of stops and he just stands there for a minute with his like fists on his hips, and we start getting into it that Alice her primary thing is, I didn't even want you here. She's like, I wanted to come put my boyfriend to rest. And they do this a lot, my boyfriend. And we all know
Yeah, that's
Alice doesn't know, Elliot does not think Alice knows Quentin and Elliot's relationship.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in the show I don't think has ever explicitly said whether or not Alice knows about Quentin and Elliot's, because after we had our like big like a time thing with the tiles and the mosaic, we didn't like interact with Alice after that. She like killed or like demonified me, and then she disappeared. And
One of the
whatever.
many things that happened to Alice
Exactly.
happened.
So she wasn't like involved in the group after
Yeah.
that. So they're trying to play with this, and she keeps on saying like my boyfriend, over and over again. And every time
My
Elliot's
husband,
like,
my husband, my husband.
yeah.
and every time Elliot's like, and like
Yes.
this is like a look where he's like, your boyfriend, okay.
I actually love this, that like you have the main love interest in the love triangle die, and then the other two still have to fight. Like I
Yeah.
actually think that's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, and we play with that a lot this episode,
Yeah.
obviously. So she's doing this thing like, I just want to come put my boyfriend to rest, and you had to tag along because you think I'm either A, so incompetent, or B, like you're so self-absorbed that you had to like put yourself into this situation that I wanted to do for myself and for our relationship. And she's like, you weren't welcome here. I didn't invite you. You invited yourself, like made me feel bad about not letting you come. And she's like, now I'm regretting it because all you're doing is like making it my problem, making me feel bad about it. And she's like not wrong,
But didn't she also cause this situation?
Exactly Elliot's point. Yeah, because he legitimately
We
like
wouldn't have to go lay him to rest if you didn't fuck this up in the first place.
Yep. And Elliot's calling out like, you know, you wouldn't have to. Yeah, she's like, he legitimately says exactly that. Like, you wouldn't have to be laying him to rest if you didn't betray us, get me possessed by a demon, and then Quentin died saving me from what was ultimately your fault. And she like, boom, face falls, like hitting the solar plexus. And now it's like, that might have been like
Harsh,
a little
but
harsh,
true.
but he doesn't like apologize for it. He's like, that might have been a little bit much. She kind of like yells at me for having like just basically being kind of like his horny she doesn't say this, but basically like his horny satyr guy who's like got him involved in like this magical drunken threesome with like him and Margot, and like you keep on involving him in your like hedonist.
Oh right,
like,
she's still pissed about that.
She's
'cause
still
we
pissed
were
about
dating
that.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like her throwing back is like, I'm always involving myself in trying to like make his life complicated, and you know what they had wasn't clean, but at least like she felt like it was a relationship and it wasn't whatever you two had, because she doesn't know what we had exactly. So at this point, whenever we're yelling back and forth and I give her the big like punch to the solar plexus about like, you caused me to demon and killed your friend, we found out the guy's name is Jan, and he's like, and time for Jan to roll a cigarette. And like, he just kind of like, he goes from standing like, maybe we'll get on the way here in a second. He's like, okie dokie.
Cigarette break. It's going to be a while.
It's like taking a smoke. And you see those like smoke wafting off the side while we keep yelling at each other. And we do a little bit more of this like back and forth. At some point, the fire kind of dies down. We're still sniping at each other. And at some point, I'm just like, fine, if you don't want to bicker, you're doing a lot of bickering for somebody who doesn't want to bicker, but I'm also egging her on. She's like, well, you're being a piece of shit. And I was like, fine, let's just go to the top of the mountain. And Jan's like, so we done? And then as soon as like that happens, obviously take her hand, boom, grabs him, yanks him behind a tree, and he's gone. And now we're alone on the top of the mountain.
All right, at the top, we're like on your way.
Or
to the
on the
top.
way. Sorry,
Got
we're not
it.
like
Okay.
by the hole, but we're now hiking alone without our guide. They do a shot of a knife on the ground, and then spoilers, it never comes back. I don't know who in writing scripts 101 did. We should do a reaction shot of the knife dropping and then not ever do anything with the knife, but that's not what you do with weapons anyway.
Maybe there's
Minor
Jan
thing.
scenes later
Yeah,
that you don't
maybe.
get.
It's fair. Maybe there is.
Where he's
but
like, "Where's my knife so I can stab this guy?"
I never see him
no.
again, so if he gets Jan scenes, it's all solo Yanni. So
Okay. We can jump back to Fillory.
Yeah,
This is,
tournament
like,
time.
we're still in Fillory.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. I don't want to go blow by blow here, but there is basically
It's a montage.
Yeah. Margot and Fen just take turns just like fighting people in
Right.
in the
Just
tournament.
1v1
They just like
in
it's
each
just
other,
1v1
And
in
so
the
most of
throne
these-
room, by the way.
Yeah. Most of the fights are like, you know, Margot goes against a guy who has swords, and then like you like use magic and make him drop his sword, and
Yeah.
then I don't even think you like slash at him. I think
No,
it's just like that
basically
one's
everybody
over.
like backs up. Nobody dies. Like there are some like painful
Fen,
injuries.
Fen like slices somebody's Achilles.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
there's like some like blood, but none of it seemed like it's fatal.
Yes, most of these
Oh.
were not fatal.
I know,
fights.
but a slice Achilles is one of the most terrifying injuries.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it is what it is. So
Short version of it is they get to the point where it's like, all right, now you like there's like 8 people left or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like there's like a chalkboard and they're like crossing names off or whatever. And so like there's like 8 people left and it's like, all right, now you all are centurions, and then there's 2 women. We've never had 2 women before do this.
Yep,
So
and the Dark King has only ever allowed for 1 female centurion at a time. It's like unacceptable to have more than one.
but it's
Bare
in
bones.
the way that like this guy's presenting is like, oh, he's so progressive by allowing
Yes.
a woman onto
Yes.
his centurion
Yes.
guard or
He-
whatever.
important
Bare
to
bones
know.
inclusion.
Here's
There's a-
the one
there's
thing.
a lot of
Maybe
patriarchy.
the Dark Lord like changed some of these rules, but didn't Josh and Fen set up this tournament?
I think he changed.
Okay.
For sure. Like he's because the Bic mentions like a few years ago he changed it. Ooh.
Right.
Like to let one woman, like, you know, the fairer sex, and they're just like really nasty about it. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to duel, obviously.
Right.
Me and Fen. Because that's where we were always
And
headed.
due to scheduling constraints, it has to be tomorrow after the full moon starts.
And this is when Margot is like, that's not gonna work.
And this is when Brian watching is like, why is Fen not just dropping out? Like, what does she want out of this?
100%. I say like we're gonna be busy because I'm gonna be turning into a wolf, and like I'm negotiating with this guy back and forth, and she's like, unless you want us all to just turn into wolves in the middle of your show, and then
you're very open with the fact that like I'm a werewolf and this is happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then after some like brief discussion, it's like, all right, we can do it an hour before sunset or
but
whatever.
While we're doing that, Margot's like, see, I'm going to turn into wolf. Josh is going to turn into wolf. And then she looks at Fen, and Fen is also scratching at her neck. And Margot realizes that Fen would also be turning into a wolf.
For some reason.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Uh-huh. And
For
so
some
we get a
reason.
little
The
cut.
sexually transmitted werewolfism.
Yes.
There's got to be other werewolves, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
there
immediately...
might be, but not in this situation.
Not in this fuck circle.
Like, basically... Fen tries to stop Margot. Like, everybody else leaves. And as that realization is dawning over her. And as Margot is looking at Fen is trying to explain that it was never more than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Like, less than a dozen.
It was over the course of like years, right? Like, didn't they have like
I don't know when
years?
I would assume yes. Yeah. But I do not know when this envelope went back. It's impossible to know.
Sure.
I don't know. So, but Margot excuses herself to go sharpen her axe.
Yeah. Now Finn's gonna die. Finn's gonna die.
I'm not gonna kill her.
It is
That's not
interesting
on
that
me.
Margot's on, and I mean this is the weird time thing, and I know that we're trying to play new with Margot's like has a new attachment to Josh, and it's different than other people, but it's interesting.
Also the werewolf thing.
It's also the werewolf.
So
thing.
there's like we talk about it. It'll literally be in the
Like
next
an aggression.
scene.
Oh, okay, fair
But
enough.
like they did introduce it when like I was like kissing Josh and being like really aggro earlier. It was like part of the werewolf make
hormones.
like that's why he
Going
called it
feral.
werewolf PMS.
Yeah.
Like it's like I am emotionally changing under the influence of becoming a werewolf, especially a double werewolf with 2 moons. Like
Yeah.
in
Double
particular. That's what she
What does
says.
it mean?
Like I'm not making that up. That's what the show called it.
So like double rainbows gives you double leprechauns?
I don't know, man. So I think this is important as we get to the end of this episode.
Fair enough.
Me, you?
I'll jump back to filler. I still got
Okay.
a lot to do.
Okay.
Not to cut you off, but I'm gonna do a couple things. You can jump in. So we're setting up camp later that night in the middle of the day, whatever. But I guess you start camp early because we don't know how to camp and it might take a really long time regardless. So we're putting down the stones and the dust and whatever. And I keep hearing, and this never really comes up again this episode, but I'll have to keep track of it. Like as Elliot's trying to do magic because like we put the stones and the black charcoal dust stuff down and I try and do magic on it and it doesn't work exactly. Like the kind of circle moves, but it doesn't seem to activate. But I hear a voice that I think is Quentin's voice, like from the woods, kind of the echoey, like in the back of your mind. I'm like,
siren almost.
kind of. And I'm like turning around, looking around, and I don't hear anything. And Alice is like next to me setting up, and she's not reacting. So it's in my head, or I'm the only one hearing it, or whatever it is. And I'm like kind of getting flustered by it, and I start kind of getting sweaty, and I take my shirt off. And I put it down, and I like keep setting down some more stones, and I try and do some magic. And there's like a little cut where whenever I took my shirt off, the purse strap went right over, like barely like a couple inches over the little line of black sand, and a snatcher comes, grabs like reaches out, snags it, and runs off into the woods. And Alice is like, you put it down, like, and I'm like, stay in the circle, and I just sprint off into the woods after the taker. I think I'll snatch her. Doesn't matter. So we're running through the woods, and I'm just like chasing it, and it looks like it's the first time I got a view of what these takers look like. Just kind of a standard white fleshy vampire ghoul kind of thing.
Okay.
Just like a person with I don't initially see its face. It's kind of wearing like a black veil, and it has clothes on that seem like kind of tattered, and it's like black veil with like golden kind of chains and like little coins inset in it, so you can't see its face. But I'm like running, and it's kind of crouching on a tree, and it seems to be kind of baiting me. And I'm chasing it down, and I go around a corner from a tree, and I do a little magic thing. I shoot it in the back with magic, and it hits it, and it kind of seems to maybe stop for a quarter of a second, and then it just keeps running like like nothing happened. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it was a powerful spell, and it should have taken it down or whatever. And so we're running, and at some point, the I kind of get lost, and I do the whole like turn around in the woods and everything looks the same, and I hear just kind of like scurrying all over. I'm like, ah, shit, things are about to break bad. And then it tackles me to the ground, gets on top of me, starts choking me. I rip its veil off, and I thought it was going to be a face reveal, but it's just a monster. It just has like bloody kind of like dark lips, and again like sharp teeth vampire, kind of like thin skinny face, kind of emaciated looking thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
like very
classic
golem looking.
very golem looking, like
Yeah.
tall lanky
But
golem
tall,
kind of
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going the whole like and like gonna bite me.
Yeah.
And right before it's about to bite me, I'm freaking out, and then all of a sudden I hear a magic thing go off, and I'm assuming it's Alice at this point.
Yeah.
The taker gets thrown backwards, and it starts to disintegrate into like black dust that kind of evaporates and swirls, and it's screaming, and it just and dies and vaporizes away. And I turn around expecting to see Alice, but instead I see just like random hot guy number 5. I don't know him yet,
Oh.
but he's just like a dude. He's in like a long trench coat, kind of has a satchel over his shoulder. He's got like really well manicured hair and just like handsome features. And he's
Did your
like,
mom not tell you not to trust handsome strangers in the dark forest?
me? No. Elliot should have.
At a certain point, if you're going in, when you go into too much shrubbery, at a certain point, anything attractive can't be trusted.
I think I would agree with you.
Yeah.
And this is probably right at that. So he comes over me and he's like, hey, you need a hand? He's like, I'm glad I took the North Road. He's like, I wouldn't have found you here. And I was like, I'm glad you did too. And Alice is like running around at that point. And I'm like, he picks me up and he's like, where's your camp? And I'm like, back this way. And we get a cut to camp later. And there's a really big scene here. So why don't you do something and I'll jump in and I'll do it. But we take him back to camp.
So I'm in the like nurses. I always call her the nurse. I feel like she's like the head nurse or doctor. I don't know what her name is, but we've all seen her. And
Medical practitioner.
The lady that yelled at me last time.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's applying like a fresh patch to my neck, and Julia comes in, and
What happened to your neck?
no, it keeps the voices.
To stop for him from
Oh,
forcibly
not a patch, like a medical
transferring.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's magic medicine.
Right.
Like it's
A
keeping the
nicotine
voices out.
Yeah.
And Julia comes in being like, oh yeah, Zoe, she definitely went here in the 90s, but none of the professors seem to remember her. And apparently she did a lot of field work in Poland. And the teacher nurse is like, oh, Zoe Marcus? I'm like, yeah, do you know her? She's like, yeah, she was my lab partner. God, we did so much acid together. And I'm like, okay, can you tell us anything? It's like, well, she was a big financial advisor. That she was like, she went off to do that after school, so that's kind of weird. And she was not really into money at all. Before, because we were like, she's a financial advisor. She's like, that's weird. She was into money, and she knew her and her sisters, and we're like, sisters? And she's like, yeah. Her, it was Beth, Zoe, and Danny. And Danny, no offense, little weird. And rumor has it they averted an apocalypse in senior year. So she went from like full-blown magic, her sister's apocalypse, to now she's a financial advisor.
So she's out of the apocalypse, saving the world business.
We're
That's what I'm hearing.
out of the game.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay.
Trying to drag me back in. I got 2 more
Fiduciary
scenes.
duty calls.
Yeah.
Save your scenes for a little bit. I got plenty. Do you all, how much you all rocking with? Because I still got like 5 or 6.
Yeah, about the
All
same.
right, yeah, do one and I'll
Okay.
jump in.
So
Wait, you have 5 or 6?
Hot damn.
I have 2 scenes left.
you know what? Maybe you go ahead.
Fair enough.
Maybe I just broke this up too.
Tell us
weirdly.
about the hot man you shouldn't trust.
What do you mean? He's so hot, it's hard not to trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back where I lost my stuff when I'm scrolling. Oh no, setting up camp. That's
Just
after
Google
that.
search hot man.
Hot dude.
But Alice, I like the. So it's interesting that Alice is with you guys, and you guys are going back to camp. Is what
Yes.
I'm understanding. Okay.
Yeah, so we're all going back to camp. So we're back in, and now it's like nighttime, and we're sitting around, and we got the circle set up. We seem to be safe. I don't know why my magic wasn't working where I was trying to do magic on it, because it seemed like I was like, oh, it's not working, so the circle's not going to function. But maybe he came back and helped us with it. I'm not sure why I told her to stay in a non-functioning circle, like that was going to do anything. Anyway, pedantics, semantics, whatever. So we're sitting down chatting, and he's like, haven't asked him his name yet, and he's talking about how I'm asking about the spell, like, how'd you kill it? I hit it with magic. It didn't do anything. And he's like, oh, well, I have, like, history with these things. Like, I remember the first time that I met a taker in Loria, where he spent some time in Loria for a long time. And they came from Loria, or they were part of Loria history previously. And he, one time, got grabbed by a taker. And when it grabbed him, he said, I felt something enter my body like an infection. And I don't know what it was about that, but I just kind of like knew that there was a magical way to basically use like an antibody magic, which we all know there's like tons of different types of magic. So he's like, I felt what made me sick, and just through like intuition, I kind of developed a magical spell that basically shoots anti-infection stuff. So they like interact in this way, and when it hits them, it basically dissolves them. Like like poking a microbe with an antibiotic. So it just dies. And I was like, can you teach us to do that? And I was like, yeah, please. Like, that would make this whole trip way safer. And he's like, I'll try and tell you whatever I can. But it's like, he's like, it's an intuition thing, and I've never really taught it to anybody, but I'll do what I can. And I can also just like accompany you up. I'm also going to the top of the mountain, so we can just go together and, you know, we can chat about it, but I can't promise anything.
You got the bag back.
Yeah, we got the bag back. Everything's
cool.
good. Everything's good. So now we're just kind of chit-chatting, and he's like, you know what? It's not very often. He's like, well, it's all in the past and history, but we're safe tonight. And he's like, what do a bunch of like safe, wary travelers who don't know each other do? We should drink and have a toast to the people that we've lost, because he's going up to also honor a loved one we talk about here in a minute. So he pulls out a bottle, and he's like, glad they didn't take this. And it's Lorien like bumble wine, which apparently is good for a lot of different things. It's like, it cures altitude sickness. It cures internal parasites. It also gets you wasted. And he like pours a little bit in shot glasses, and Alice like shoots it. And both me and him are like, and she like immediately takes it all down. And I was like, it's a sipper. And she's immediately drunk. Like, just kind of like, so tell me more about yourself. And we're just like kind of like lightly sipping on the thing. But no, we're not, you know, now we're all kind of chilling. I'm not like, it's not being judgy or weird, but she's just a little bit drunk for the rest of the scene. So I ask if he's an adventure tourist, and this is where he tells me, no, there was somebody that he loved. He's also a mourner. And Alice was like, who was it? I mean, if you don't like mind asking, in kind of the drunk way of like trying to overshare. And he's like, no, I'll tell you. It's like, you know, he was the love of my life. He was a magician, and he died too young. And a couple years back, I brought his library up, and I threw it into the hole, and I felt a little bit better. And so every year I take a trip alone up to the top of the mountain, and I don't throw anything in now, but just to kind of like be with his memory, kind of like a little pilgrimage thing. And we're like, that's very sweet. And Alice is like, yeah, my boyfriend died. We were like on again, off again. It was complicated. And Elliot's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. He's kind of rolling his eyes a little bit. And the dude kind of clocks that Elliot's like, whenever she's talking about my boyfriend, I kind of like look away and like look a little bit awkward. And he like, and like doesn't like make it known, but there's a shot of him like noticing that. He clocks it. So, and because he clocks it, after Alice gets done, her like, my boyfriend, anyway, he's like, so how did you know him? And I was like, just good friends. And he's like, oh, okay. So two grieving lunatics drink themselves to death with a stranger they met on the road. He's like, cheers to that. And I'm like, cheers. And Alice is like, I need to go to bed. I gotta go lay down. And we're like, okay, have a good night. And leaves Elliot and this guy sitting there kind of drinking on the sheets or whatever. So he like goes, and she goes, no, it's kind of quiet, a little awkward moment, and he kind of lays back, and he's like, getting drunk with strangers under a beautiful sky. And he like kind of like pats the like little bedroll next to him, and he's like, come on, lay down. I don't like lay down, but I kind of like elbow down, and we start kind of yapping for a second. And without going into line by line, but I think I can do it pretty well justice. So again, he clocked that there's more to this story than what she gave us. Now that she's gone, he's like, so like,
what's the actual story?
Like, what's the tea? Like, there's something else going on here.
Spill it.
Like, what's going on? And he's like, so that friend you're putting to rest. And he's like, eh? And Ellie's like, he's like, he was more than a friend. And he's like, I loved him. And he's like, yeah, I could tell. He's like, does she know? And Ellie's like, oh God, no. And the guy's like, that's kind of interesting. Like, well, why not? And Ellie's like, well, because it's like, why would I do that to her? And he has an interesting point where he's like, well, like, you think that you're protecting her from the truth, but in my opinion, the only way to truly honor somebody that you both obviously cared about is to honor the truest version of themselves. And he's like, do you think that he didn't care about her? And Ellie's like, no, he cared about her. He loved her too. And he's like, and he loved you. So why, like, he can't tell her about you two. Why won't you? Like, why isn't that, like, why aren't you doing that in his place?
You're doing him a disservice.
You're doing him a disservice. Like, why are you not honoring his truest self while he's passed? Like, you're trying to protect yourself from an awkward moment. And that doesn't seem very fair. And it's like, well, and it kind of like gives him a little shit. And he's like, I'm just like, look, I'm just a drunk stranger. Like, you can be honest with me, but I'm going to be honest with you too. Like, he's all about the honesty of the situation. He's like, I'm being my true self. And I think that's a kind of a shitty thing to do to this person who obviously cares about the same person you care about. And I was like, well, you know, and he's like, you don't know him, but he kind of like, Elliot, you can tell Elliot's now like mulling this over. He kind of feels a little bit bad about it. And apparently he had clocked that I had something inside of the pouch as well. Oh no, because that's where I kept the sand. Okay, never mind. So we just kind of chat for a minute, and he starts to. So we have a little quiet moment. He's like rubbing the side of my face and is being a little bit like sexual, not like overly sexy. And he's like, so this kind of like sordid lovers trio. He's like, it's interesting. I didn't like, he's like kind of like, I didn't expect to have this kind of like gossip on the mountain today. He's like, this is kind of fun. And Elliott's like, you're being a little shit stirrer right now. He's like, yeah, what are you going to do? And he's like rubbing my cheek, and I was like, I should go to bed before things get more complicated. He's like, and just kind of like, he's like, I was going to see if I could make it even a little bit messier, but fine.
I guess not.
And I said my piece, and he kind of like rolls over. He's like, we got a long way to go tomorrow, and we cut forward to the next morning. So nothing happens.
Okay.
But,
Interesting.
yeah, he seemed to be like honest, and he seemed to kind of like touch on something that was like kind of tender in Elliot a little bit, and he kind of like made him pause and think about stuff a little bit more.
I am getting ready to fight Fen.
Yep.
Slash murder.
And Josh he wants to check in. He wants to check in. He's a little worried that,
How we doing, champ?
that I'm going to kill Fen in my like werewolf hormones and stuff and my rage. And you know, Margot just tells him basically to get lost, that she knows how to properly lightly maim someone and leave her alone.
Tight.
So we face off in the circle.
Yep.
And I tell Margot tells Fen that she smells anxious. She smells nervous. And Fen says that I smell angry. And she's like, I don't understand why Fen is like trying to reason with Margot, being like, I don't understand why you're doing this. Like, why won't you just let me stab you and this can just be over?
Why won't you just let me
stab you?
Yeah, so like I feel like the focus is on Margot's anger, but I do think that there's some werewolf stuff coming from Fen. She could have also not participated.
Yeah.
She could have also like given up and been like, no, she'll be the
I still don't
Centurion.
understand why she wants to win this.
I think it's the werewolf thing. I think she's also thirsting for a fight, and in the same exact way.
Okay.
That's why she signed up.
That's the only way that
place.
makes sense, I think.
Yes, definitely.
Unless there's something we don't know about. But
No, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And
she also does like fighting just in general. Like in all the flashbacks, she's like two knives, like, come on, get some, to like a whole army full of people with like two knives in her hands.
And so did Margot too.
Exactly.
So I feel like they're just heightening this. Like these are two women who obviously can hold their own in a fight and like don't dislike it, I don't think. Yeah. But then the werewolf stuff turns up to 11.
Yeah, cranked it up.
Fight starts.
Yeah. I use a spell which she claims is completely unfair. So Margot acquiesces and decides, okay, no magic. I'll just beat you hand to hand.
Hand to hand with this axe.
You cut some of her hair off.
Yeah, there's like
you
a
both
big
end up on the
chunk.
ground. Like one of Fen's knives goes flying. You're kind of wrestling on the ground a little bit.
Yeah, and I get to the knife first, and I stab her in the heart at the side of her chest.
Jesus. Okay. So
you commit murder.
So when Josh was like, "Hey, I'm worried about this," he was probably for good
and you were
reason.
like, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm good." Yeah.
And then Bick is like, we have a victor or a victorette.
That pissed me off, and it was so perfect. I was like, what good writing?
Yeah.
Immediately irritated.
Well, because it's got to be different, right?
Yeah. Right.
Are you a doctor or are you a doctorette?
And Margot, I will say, does not look happy about this. Like, she obviously realizes, I mean, right after it happens,
Yeah.
like, she's like screaming because like there's so much energy, and at the literal pinnacle, that's when she stabs her, and then obviously the rush fades away, and she just is horrified. And
Murder will
starts,
do
like,
that to you.
crying. And the victorette gets announced, and she's still like, oh my god, I killed Fen. Josh looks horrified, and then all of a sudden Fen gets up, goes like pulls the knife out of her chest, and she's just like, wow, great job, like,
What?
totally awesome. She's like, I love how you used my child's play knife to go for me. Like, you had the presence of mind to do that.
They're like not like training knives for children so you can stab people without consequences.
Right, that's why they're child's play knives.
Okay.
Like, they're the knives you
the
get.
giveaway. The
Yeah,
little-
which by the way still stabbed her. Like, there was
Yeah, it
blood.
still hurt, but
But she lived.
Yeah, it's magical and it's gonna
Yeah.
not kill you.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting concept.
So, but as we are all doing this, we're all scratching more aggressively
Yeah,
as
it's
these
like,
things
oh,
are
we need to get to
happening.
the wolf
And we're like,
cages.
werewolf cages
Yeah.
right the second.
Separate werewolf cages?
They
Yeah,
put us
there
in
are
separate
three. There are
Oh.
three separate cages in a room.
I ain't cleaning up that trifecta cage.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No.
The show has a penchant for threesomes, so I
Yes,
just wanted
it
to
does.
double check.
All right.
So we walk into the faux cottage, and we see who we think is Daniela, and she makes a spell. She casts a spell that instantly makes her disappear. And we're like, wait, crap. And I'm just like, awkward. And Julia's like, hey, we didn't mean to scare you. We're just trying to talk to you and your sister about. At that point, Zoe comes in pissed. Of like, I thought I told you we're not here to help you save the world. Just furious. And Julia, like, kind of matching her energy, but not getting as pissed, is like, well, you can, but you won't. Okay, it's not that you can't. There's a very clear line here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey guys, listen, we're not asking you to join the fight. We just need some help. Just, hey, can I placate all this anger? And she says it's not just that. Do you think that her sister will stop if she knows the stakes? Like, do you think that she's just going to stop if she knows the stakes? And then
Did they lose their other sister?
and she's like, do you think she can stop when she knows what the problem and the stakes are? And she like appears back in the room like, can you tell me about the problem? Just completely interested in what the problem and things now.
Interesting.
And Zoe, her sister, interrupts like, don't. Unless you want to explain how obsessed you get and how you nearly got yourself killed and how Beth got killed. And that's when I'm like, hey, we're sorry. And Julie's like, I'm not. Look, I'm sorry that you've lost someone, but we've also lost people. We need your help. And Zoe's like, we've already saved the world. We get to be done. We are out. Don't come back.
I like this because it's kind of like they also saved the world once last season.
Yeah.
Do
They've earned it.
Like, do we get to be out? Like,
Yeah.
do we get to?
Oh,
that's
there is
very interesting.
There is a conversation Penny has in the next scene of like, I mean, yeah. I got 2 more scenes.
I just got one, so.
I'll go do it. I have one big chunky one, and then
I
a
got
small
one big
one
scene.
that
I got
ends-
one
that
big scene.
ends it.
Okay, so let's
yeah.
just take turns. We'll go, and then you, and then we'll finish off.
I definitely my Saul scene ends it, so why don't you all figure out, and then I'll do my big one.
Y'all go, then I go.
So it's the next morning,
Yeah.
and we're all human in the cages again. No CGI.
Okay.
And we're all asking. We're just like yelling to be let out of the werewolf cages. Like, we're human now.
I'm hungry.
Let
I
me out.
want coffee.
Like, we're done.
Fen starts by apologizing for sleeping with Josh.
Yeah.
Josh is kind of just like staying out of this. He doesn't say much through most
Yes,
of this
I
scene.
feel like he understands Margot better than Fen does, for
Yeah.
sure. And Margot tells her that stop apologizing, that she doesn't own Josh's penis, and she doesn't want to. And Fen is obviously, she's like, well, you seem angry. Like, I'm trying to apologize because you seem angry. And Margot's like, can I have a complicated emotion and not have to resolve it to make you feel better?
Does she say no?
She doesn't.
can.
Turns out.
No.
Another,
for
you know,
asking.
like I actually like really resonate with that because like I as somebody who can get angry, who
What?
like can, like I also understand like my feelings are also mine, right? Like my responsibility, and it is my responsibility to like manage them. But if I am managing them, and you're just like understanding that I'm having a feeling, I don't like. I get why Margot's like, okay,
I don't need
like,
you to problem solve.
Yeah.
I just need to
I've
be
got it.
allowed to have this.
yeah, like you know, like I feel like you don't want to like just because a feeling is happening and you're acknowledging that it's maybe not like fair or you don't want to act on it or whatever, doesn't mean it's not happening, and like it's okay that it happens. You just have to manage it. And I do agree with Margot here that Fen is like, she's so, it's like, I don't think I'm communicating how aggressively she's talking. Like she's just like immediately like Margot wakes up and then she's just like, I'm so sorry for sleeping with Josh, and you're just like, okay. Like,
Okay, that's pretty aggressive.
it is a little much, right? So I kind of get that. Basically Fen and Josh are trying to explain to Margot that they're not like, she's not the one who should have a complicated emotion or feel bad about like you know, they are really sorry. Like they're apologizing because they feel so like indebted to Margot. Because this, I mean, do you want to mention what Josh argues here?
Yeah, Josh is basically saying like, oh, we want you, Margot, to like forgive us. Like we promised ourselves we wouldn't give up on you, but we did. And this is when like Margot tells us that Elliot sent the letter, not her.
Yeah, and Margot also confesses to the fact that she did not know it was a child's play knife. So like Margot doesn't even let this ride. Like
Right.
she immediately is like, one, I tried to kill you.
yeah.
And Fen even at that point she was just like, well, you know, matters of the heart are complicated. And Margot's like, why are you trying to forgive me? Like I am
Right.
not a good person. I am having these bad things. I don't
Legitimately
need,
just tried to kill you yesterday.
like this weird, like she's just saying that it's very weird for her to be so apologetic and sorry and like whatever when like Margot understands that these feelings that she's having are not like fair. Right. So it's like she's like, Margot's like, I understand what's happening and I'm trying to control myself and you're acting like, you know what I mean? Like it's a very, yeah. So she finds this like disconnect, and that's when Josh is saying like the debt, they feel this debt to her.
Right.
And
Margot's like, you shouldn't, because I basically left you to die to like save Fillory.
yeah. And then that's when Fen gets like really mad. Yeah. She's just like, I fought for you. I thought you gave a shit about us, and I can't believe you don't. And she's pissed. And Margot says like, kings have a job and we have to do that first. That doesn't make any sense to me. Does that make sense to you based on the last episode?
No, it seems like Margot's been doing everything she can to save Fillory and get back. I mean, we all did decide to. No, because we didn't even leave it, because like we didn't expect it to jump forward 300 years.
Right.
So like we didn't leave it knowing that they were gonna like live their entire lives alone and then die. Like that's something we came back to.
This episode's almost implying that there was like a choice between saving Fillory or saving Josh and Fen. And you chose to save Josh and Fen.
But like, I didn't understand that to be the case.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I think there was the only thing that was kind of that is that we were told by Jane Chatwin not to mess with the past because it can fuck things up worse. And we did it anyway. So maybe that? Because like we weren't supposed to grab her time trinkets and like mess around with the past, and then we just did it because we wanted to save them. And like the whole point of that was we like playing with the past always ends up with things worse.
But like that's not like they're like
that's the only thing. That's the only read.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know if that's
it's
like,
we had like the Dark Lord or whoever like runs Fillory. That was happening before we fucked with time.
Right.
Right.
So we fucked with time. That didn't seem to change at all.
no.
So I don't really get why the show all of a sudden is like, well, you know. I don't know.
It's like it makes me like very confused, and I'm makes
Maybe
me wonder
we
if I
missed
just
something.
I think I must have.
But like it's weird that it's like we missed something that
so critical.
like the characters seem to understand, even though they weren't in these scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I honestly, I was like really struggling with it because like I'm like the whole conversation we had last episode was talking about like how Margot was like chastising Elliot for giving up on their friends too fast. That was literally the whole point of the last episode. So like I was just really confused, unless like maybe Margot is like presenting this in the worst way possible because she's hurt right now by the two of them, and so she wants to make them hate her. I guess that's like
yeah,
but that didn't.
It didn't come across like that though.
It also felt like, well, the reason I say that that's probably not it is because that's why I was confused about the first scene where Margot is saying that like she didn't come up with this idea, that it was Elliot's idea or whatever. Right. But again, that scene was kind of a disconnect from the message of the last episode. Right? Like I if somebody, I don't know, can we get spoilers for this? I feel like I need to understand what's happening here, and I don't.
Eventually we'll rewatch it, I guess.
I don't know. I'm bummed. Anyway.
Maybe it'll make more sense going forward. Like maybe they'll kind of rehash this conversation in a way that like kind of gives us a little more clarity or something.
Yeah. Anyway.
What up to, Mike?
So me and Julia are sitting down at a coffee table eating some food. I do have a note that says, Penny, button your shirt. He's got like 5 buttons deep on this thing.
He can do what he wants.
Fine.
And I'm like, dog, you're eating food, man. You're gonna get all food in your chest.
Eating hot spaghetti with the chest out?
Wild.
Crazy stuff.
And I'm like, hey, Julia, I've been thinking about what Zoe said, because it's a valid question. When do you save the world enough? Like, I'm with you on any, I'm with you on anything. But I gotta be honest. If we survive this one, I want a life, Julia, ideally with you. And she's like, yeah, I want that too. And I'm like, I'm not sure that you do. And that's okay. Like right now we have shit to do. And if we don't die, we need to figure this out. So just kind of putting the stakes out there.
Okay.
And we get a knock at the door, and it's Daniela. And she says that she solved our problem. She's very much the nerdy, like geek in the sister group,
like the Alice.
Yeah, and she's like, "You were right. The surges are increasing. They're unpredictable, and there's hidden variables that defy calculation." And Julia's like, "So we can't predict it?" And she's like, "Exactly, you can't. So instead, I created a statistical model to predict a window within which a surge might occur." And she's like, "Are you familiar with the harmonic convergence? Apparently, it's this rare and powerful astrological occurrence, a magnifier of magic, and there have been 4 so far. The extinction of the dinosaurs, Pompeii, the sinking of Atlantis. Does anyone want to guess the 4th?
Oh my God. We've got fiction in here. I don't even know.
Yeah, now I'm curious. Pompeii. So we had Pompeii, the sinking of Atlantis,
the dinosaurs going extinct.
Dinosaurs going extinct.
Can you give us a time period?
Modern.
Please don't tell me it's nuclear bombs.
Nope.
Okay, thank God.
The invention of autotune.
Oh, okay. It was going to be a comedy one.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't do this thing.
We were so afraid.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do
It's the invention of autotune. Thanks,
Okay.
T-Pain.
Leave T-Pain alone.
I will. And she's like, in 2 weeks, there's going to be a 5th. And I'm like, well, how bad is it going to be? She's like, well, this is the event you're worried about. It's the circumstances on the convergence will be exceptionally favorable, which in this case is not a good thing.
Okay.
Because essentially it falls in a surge window. Castings will be exponentially magnified. Enchantments will malfunction. Death toll in the millions, maybe much higher. And
That's what happened when autotune was invented.
Exactly. And we're like, well, how can we stop it? She says, we can't unless you stop the surges, change astrology, or tell everyone on Earth not to do magic. Whatever you try, if you need help, I will help you, and so will my sister. And Julie's like, I'm pretty sure your sister doesn't want to help us. She's like, she doesn't, but if the moment comes, you can count on the both of us. Julie says, thank you. Thank you so much for your help. Danny says, it's my pleasure. My sister will invoice you for my time.
You don't work for free.
Yep.
We don't do
So
discrete calculus for free.
we are working towards this convergence.
Okay. Yeah, millions dead, huh?
Maybe higher. Not since the autotune
How could
have we
T-Pain
seen
do
such
this?
catastrophe.
How could T-Pain do this
sorry,
stuff?
Atlantis, Pompeii, what was the other one?
Extinction of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
And
That's the only one of those that was like
It's
a
weird that
very
Pompeii is
deadly
just like,
event on like a global scale.
It's weird that Pompeii is just like a volcano.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Aren't
those.
there deadlier volcano eruptions
Oh yeah,
in
a lot.
history?
It's just that they just happen to be really well preserved.
Had really
society
good
because of
press.
it.
I don't know if there's larger ones. Pompeii was pretty big.
It was big, yeah. Don't get me wrong. But
I don't know.
Anyway, doesn't really matter.
Pompeii
We're
was
not
big,
geologists.
don't get me wrong. Is a sense I never thought I'd hear. I mean, I
Look,
get it.
might
It was
as
kind of
well.
big. But like,
Anyway,
come on.
I should know this, but I just
I don't know
don't.
the biggest volcanoes.
Right.
Maybe in modern history. So next morning, so we make it all the way up to the hole. I guess we like come to the hole, and the guy's like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you all go. I got to do my own thing. Like I'm gonna go, hang out, talk to my dead loved one, and if you all want to walk down together, we can do that later. But I'm gonna let you all do your thing." And there's like a circle of stones that kind of covered in crystals and a big hole, and we walk over to it, and it kind of starts pretty laissez-faire, where like Alice holds up the little vial that she brought, and she's like, Quentin, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. Like, hey, Elliot, do you want to say anything? And I'm like, he's like, I don't know. And he just kind of shakes his head, and we both look very sad. I'm not like blowing her off, and she's like, and she just says rest or something like that, and she drops the thing in, and she like kind of tears up a little bit, and she's like, well, I guess that's it. Like a little anticlimactic, but she kind of takes a deep breath, and she's like, I did the thing, so let's go, I guess. And she goes to leave, and I was like, wait. And I'm like, kind of like arguing with myself in my head on whether I want to do something. She turns around, and I reach into the to the purse, and I grab out the letter that I had written in the previous episode with Margot. And I was like, you need to see this. And she walks back over and hand it to her, and she immediately recognizes that this is a magically addressed letter.
Yeah.
And that it says like to Quentin before he entered the mirror. And she's like, oh my God, like you, like what, wait, why do you have this? Like, how do you have this? Why, what does it say? Like what? She's like a million questions, and Elliot's just kind of like shaking his head, and she goes to open it, and we basically start having this conversation about a lot of back and forth, really long scene. I'm not going to go into everything about it, but basically this is whenever Elliot is choked up because he's kind of taking the stranger's word here and being like, you need to know about something that happened between me and Quentin. Like, Quentin loved you, but there was this time when we were in Fillory, and there was this mosaic, and we lived an entire lifetime together, and we loved each other. And he loved you, but during that time we were together, and he's like, I didn't know how to tell you. And she's like, she kind of shakes her head for a minute, and she's like, do you think I like didn't know that there was something between you? She didn't know the extent of it, but she's like, I knew him pretty well. She's like, I didn't spend an entire lifetime with him, but I did know him pretty well, and I know that he really cared about you. I know that he cared about me. He cared about both of us, obviously. And Elliot at this point is starting to get a little more choked up, like obviously a huge weight off of his chest. Mm-hmm. And he starts to kind of be, now that he's not like sniping at Alice, he starts to snipe at himself a little bit, which isn't super fair because the last time that they met, he was possessed by a demon.
Sure.
Right. But he's like, he spent all this time and we like loved each other. And the last thing that I said to him was like, go to hell. And then he died. But basically like I think this is kind of confirmation that I remember everything from the demon thing. Like I was watching myself like hurt the person that I loved without being able to stop it. And then before I could get out and actually say goodbye, he was already dead and gone. And I never got to say it, which is why I wanted to write this letter. And she's like, well, why didn't you send it? And I think even as she asks it, she kind of like realizes like, because, there's who knows what could have happened, right? Everyone could have died. Fillory could have been dead. The world could have been dead. And he's like, it would have been selfish of me. And there are so many things I want to say in this letter that I'm never going to be able to. And I've just got to kind of live with that. And I don't know that I can. And she's like, she's like, I think you should put it into the whole. Like that's what it's
Yeah.
here for, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, she's like, I can help you. We can do it together. And I was like, okay. And we like hold the two corners of the envelope and we hold it over and she's like, 1, 2, 3, and we like say 3 and we let it go. And this is actually the like big deep breath. Like we're
Yeah.
both like we feel this catharsis. And there was a lot more back and forth where like we were very clearly like extremely emotional and like our relationship's on a new level now. Like we were both
Yeah.
hiding something from each other this entire time. And I think she felt a little jealous of me and I felt a little jealous that while I knew that my relationship was something that was like maybe more powerful or like different but was like important to me, like she at least got to say goodbye and got to see him as herself before. Like she like Quentin and her rekindled their relationship near the end of the last season and like they got to like relearn what it was to be in love with each other and then say goodbye and she got to be part of the plan and he's like, and I just didn't get to do that. And I think, and I call it that. I just like, I kind of resented her for that, which is why I came on this with her.
Didn't Quentin also turn Elliot down again? Like, wasn't
Yes.
there like when he was like, "No, I'm committing to Alice." Like, there was like there was something going on. I feel like those were kind of similar. Like, they were close together.
What was
Like-
that? That would have been that would have been pre-demon because I think once I got demonified, I didn't see him post-demon.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Maybe it
think
was
so
still
because I was in
before.
the
Yeah.
hospital.
Okay.
I think it was before, but I do think there was maybe
Yeah.
a thing where like there was definitely a moment
It
when
was never like super definitive, but yeah, I think there was something like that, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the context of it was. I think Elliot wanted to kind of like rehash the relationship, and Quentin was like, that was a different place or different circumstances. I don't know if that was like I want to be with Alice, but I think it was just Quentin basically said,
Close the door on that relationship.
yeah, like we still like love each other, but we're not gonna like that's not who I am here.
Yeah.
That was a different time and place. I think.
I swear
weird.
that
Yeah,
like
I think you're right.
distinctly remember that. The only thing I don't think it was like 100% because of Alice, but I do feel like the show was like replanting seeds with Alice, and we were like a little bit confused because we were waiting for the resolution of like the other relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's when it happened. And but anyway, so I can also see why Elliot would be like jealous if that's you know the last thing that happened. Also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we kind of like have a little moment where kind of like, the levity kind of comes in where we're like, we both loved Quentin and boy, is it messy, but there was no really messier than Quentin. And we're like, yeah, he was a pretty messy dude. Like just he always got messy, but we loved him and, we said goodbye and we turn around and we start heading down the mountain. And then I got one more scene.
All right. Finish it off.
Yep. Is everyone done?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So we're back down the mountain and we're kind of like walking with the guy. So apparently we made it down without any other like major issues with the takers. And so we go to part ways and I was like, hey, we're going to head over to this like Castle Whitespire. I'm like, we're going to head over to Castle Whitespire and we're going to get on with our lives. And he's like, I'm actually going that way too. Do you need a ride? And we're like, yeah, I mean, sure, if you're going that way anyway. And there's a big carriage that pulls up and a bunch of knights and they stop in front of him and he like
dark?
walks over and they like put a cloak over him and they're like, my lord. And he's like,
The Dark King.
and he kind of turns around. He's like, so do y'all want? And we're like, you know what? Actually, we're going to take like a scenic route. Like we've had a long day, like a long hike. So we're just going to take ourselves. He's like, well, if you're ever at Castle Whitespire, like if you need anything, come look me up. And we're like, okay, see ya. And he's like, all right, we can go. And he like gets into this black carriage, black horses and black guards. And he sort of takes off down the road. And Alice is like kind of looking back and forth, like super awkwardly. And Elliot just goes, I think I almost fucked the Dark King.
That is a great reveal
That's really
Yeah.
good.
of the Dark King.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know him.
I thought he was just going to be a bad guy. I didn't think he was going to be the Dark King.
Yeah. And he seemed to be like a actually like pretty like well thought, lovely.
Yeah,
Except he's a misogynist. As we
Yeah,
learned.
he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
misogynist, but like I didn't see any of that. So like
That's
all
fair.
this stuff in my like I didn't even clock the misogyny thing because he was a gay man.
Right,
So like
right.
not that
That's
he
why
can't
he's
be
misogynist, though.
right.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's
Women-
deserving of his
Yeah.
love.
So are you into women? No, I really think like women of all sorts for any rhyme or reason. Gross.
Yeah, all bad
Girls
women.
rule, boys rule.
Silly.
Really owns the misogyny.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's funny. But no, I think that like they're definitely. I'm really curious how Elliot is going to
Fuck the Mad King.
talk to Margo about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the Dark King. Yeah.
Oh, he's fucking that king.
He might fuck the king. It is, and it kind of like lends itself. I was wondering why we were being kind of cagey about the information that we were sharing. We don't say Quentin, and we don't say like I'm Elliot, and she's like,
Yeah.
and like Margo, and like we don't call out our friends. We're just saying, oh, the friend that we loved, and yes,
Yeah.
we both loved him in the triangle, and it's messy and stuff. Like, and then I went back to the, I was like, yeah, we never really said names. We never said that we were humans of Earth or that we were previous kings.
You got
I never
nothing
said
to
that I
go
was
on.
a king of Fillory. Like,
Yeah.
we never talk about any of that.
So you really kept it on.
We really kept it on the down low,
Okay.
which I didn't really think about in the moment, but then after fact.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any sort of significance that he threw in a library into?
He threw a
Ooh.
journal.
Oh, I thought it was his library. Okay, no, it was a journal.
It was a journal.
Specifically a
Yeah,
journal.
the Dark
okay.
King threw the journal of his lover
Okay.
into the
Okay.
into the pit.
Okay.
He didn't say who his lover was, too, but it seemed to be. I'm not sure if there's backstory or if it's we're gonna learn something that's an important character that we know or something like that.
I like that reveal.
Yeah,
That
me too.
like sleeper, like everyone's anticipating like death and destruction. No.
Like Brian said, we need to have something by the end of this episode, and we did.
Yeah.
We met the
So
Dark
we have Dark King,
Yeah.
Ellis can fuck, and then we got the conversions.
I also need to figure out what's going on with Margo and
Yeah.
Josh and Fen.
Yeah.
Just stop murdering people, and you will find out.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Love me as always.
It's Sasha.
In front of me as always.
it's Colin.
right here, right now.
Brian.
We'll see you next. Oh, creep in the background often.
Hey,
I
Bruce
will
James.
censor you.
Hey, you can't. Literally.
Damn it.
I can censor you. What are you going to say? Too bad that was bleeped.
We'll see you next time. Speak to power.
Beep, 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 beep.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rossbach. Find him at stephenrossbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.